gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS!
We realized the politicians are our employees. They work for us.
This is about having common sense gun laws. We have a movement that is going to be led by our young people.
A few days after the shooting, I was trying to keep making my voice heard on CBS and all the different affiliates. We all sat down in Cameron Caskey's living room, talked, and worked, and worked, and worked.
It's the fact that these things keep happening across the country. I mean, just looking at it, we're the generation that grew up right after Columbine. Like, the majority of us were born after this situation was in the public eye.
When something like this happens and it hits you so close to home, the only thing that you can think about is, how can I keep this from happening to someone else? You have to step up, so that's what we did.
Next death of someone with an assault rifle here in Florida is going to be on them.
We went to Tallahassee with a group of 100 people organized by Senator Book from Fort Lauderdale, and we spoke to many legislators, including senators and representatives in the state capitol. We were outlining them the most important things, raising the age to buy a weapon that isn't a handgun to 21. Background checks were very important to us, that something had to be done there. There had to be some more funding going towards mental health in Florida. Assault weapons, the laws around it had to be changed because access is just too easy, especially for kids.
I want to feel safe at school, and I don't understand why I could still go in a store and buy a weapon of war.
I think the activism here came from the fact that we live in a pretty good area. We don't have to deal with a lot of the stuff that we hear about on a daily basis. So we're able to look at it from a kind of a distance and formulate opinions about it. And the fact that it doesn't happen here, it kind of like adds a level of like people want to make a change. Because if it's not happening here, you feel like I should be doing something more since I'm not actively feeling this. I think activism stems from there.
So the way we keep this going is by using the ember that we have now. Nothing will stop us.
Any student can have this voice. Any person out there, any teacher, any person on the street can speak out. All they have to do is go out there and continue to believe what they believe in. Because as long as you have passion towards something, something will happen, something will change.
What can we do quickly? What can we agree on to get action on? I think the families gave us a great example this week. They all met on Sunday. They have some different opinions on some issues, but they found common ground on the things they agreed on. And because of that, I believe the Florida legislature today will approve and send to the governor a bill that makes Florida a safer place than it was 3 weeks ago.
Obviously, our ultimate goal is changes in legislation, changes in public opinion, because that is what's important to us. After the march, we're going to be focusing more on communicating directly with our legislators and on mobilization of young voters, because they need to vote out those who are unwilling to make a change and unwilling to focus on children's safety, public safety. But it's a lot of legislative push and a lot of just trying to change the way people feel about our culture.
March 14th, we have a nationwide school walkout. And then after that, we have March for Our Lives. Then after March for Our Lives, we're officially turning Never Again into a nonprofit. And from there, we're going to be organizing rallies and going to high schools across the nation and just promoting, really getting kids to register to vote and getting the age gap, which is 18 to 26 to vote, since only 1/5 of them do vote at the moment. We're really trying to persuade people to actually vote.
This cruise stole 17 beautiful lives from us, and we will never forget that. But instead of being stuck on that, we will celebrate their lives every day, and we will fight to make a change for them because that's what they deserve and that's what they want.
So far, in this year alone, there's been 2 mass shootings in high schools. How many more of these shootings must happen until we decide it is enough?
Hearing about different shooting cases throughout the country has unfortunately left many worried for the future of the home of the brave.
I thought in 2014, when 20 kids were killed in Newtown, Connecticut, that would have been different. I thought that would have been a turning point. I thought that would have brought about change. I thought that 50+ people in Las Vegas would have brought about change. So at this point, I know it's pessimistic, but I feel like I'm hopeless. I feel like that at this point, I might just have to come to school scared and just have to deal with it.
Even though it's all the way in Florida, it's still awful to think that, people that I know these people and are really close with them. And so it's kind of a scary thought.
Hearing what happened in Parkland, Florida really just hit home for me. It was my hometown when I lived in Florida, and knowing that my brothers and I would have gone to Stoneman, Douglas, and knowing that we have friends there really just put me in shock, and it made me realize that this could have happened at any school. It was a safe community in Florida where people went to feel safe, and it was a safe school where the kids went to school thinking nothing would happen. And that's how people at Fort Mill feel.
Although many are having difficulties being exposed to so much danger, others decided to look beyond the darkness, making a difference in today's society.
We are at a tipping point in our society in a lot of areas where, we've just said enough. And I think school shootings is another one of those. You see a lot of young people coming out and voicing their opinions, whether it's school walkouts, protests, or even just campaigning on social media. It's the young people that are being affected, not the legislators in Washington. And we like to make our voice heard and let people know what we want and what change that we need.
I want to go to a school that's safe for everyone and for people to go into a school and know that they are safe 100%.
In my opinion, when students are coming to school, they're coming to learn. They should not be threatened by things like guns. They should be ensured complete safety. So this is something that obviously is a big wake-up call for a lot of schools in America.
I think that with the speaking out from all of the Parkland students themselves, I feel like that gives a lot of momentum to the movement. They're kind of the first people to start doing that and starting the hashtag and having anti-gun rallies. So I think that helps a lot.
Today, social media runs our society, which has allowed many students in Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas to spread a message that has been heard by many throughout the United States. And it is with the power of the media that students have begun to create posters and even walk out of class for the lives of those who've passed.
We are MSD Strong!
We are with you!
We are here today because, as you can see, our student body and our community, we are absolutely sick and tired of these senseless killings, and we have spoken for years, we have protested for years, our country has hurt for years, has prayed for years, has thought for years, and now we're sick and tired of it.
I think more than I am surprised is I'm shocked. I can't really say that at this point with something new, every year is a new biggest mass shooting, biggest something. I can't say I'm really surprised, but I'm devastated. And I'm hurt to know that this still happens.
And unfortunately, it is the act of darkness that brings our country together. But we must not stop. We must continue to react nationally. We will make a difference together.
So going back to school was definitely a shock of reality.
I don't think it's actually hit me yet.
It felt kind of uncomfortable.
This is where, I went to high school here. I've been here for multiple years. I keep seeing us on TV or school, and it just doesn't seem real.
I honestly felt relieved because I was back home in a way.
Well, it definitely felt like there was a completely different vibe. You know, walking back into the school, seeing everything, it was completely different. There were so many police officers, there were therapy dogs, which we all love, everywhere. And it was like the first day of school, but your first day at the school, because it had felt completely different. Like I was in a completely different location. A big part of the school is a freshman building and it's completely blocked off. So it was just like a brand new school.
I'm really hoping that our students are going to make the biggest change in this country in general. I think security is going to tighten. I think there's going to be a lot of parents who are going to be concerned about sending their kids back. I am worried that we're going to still see some kids who just can't handle it and are going to leave. And hopefully we get more dogs on campus. I think we're going to start seeing a move back to curriculum, but I think you're going to see a lot less tests. It's going to be more of hitting on the basics and just trying to finding a way to get to that quote-unquote new normal.
We all had very different experiences that day and have had different levels of loss, and that's just something I had to be cognizant of every day with my classes. So I know that some are just devastated, and I know that some are okay now and some are wanting to move on, so it's a very wide variety.
I think our attitudes are going to change. We're going to be more nicer to each other now that people are, not with us anymore, and we're all going to get better from this and heal.
I think there's going to be more security and people are going to be a little bit more on edge and stop joking about this kind of thing.
I think things are going to be different at the school because several people were lost and it definitely affected a lot of us. I mean, a couple of teachers aren't even coming back, and I at least know 4 kids that are coming back, and it's just going to be a different vibe.
In general, I mean, I would think that the kids are going to be a little bit more skittish than they normally are. I think in terms of curriculum, it's going to be hard to get back at it this year because of the fact that we've been off for so many weeks and we had this tragedy happen to us. So I'm concerned about, first and foremost, I'm concerned about their emotional state, and then once we get past that, we can start slowly going back to the regular curriculum again.
Like, it's not really going to be normal, go back to my normal life, but it's mostly just surrounding myself with people that make me laugh, like hanging out with my friends and just like trying to distract myself. But also it kind of helps to just like think about it and be like thankful about how that wasn't me put in this situation, and just to kind of like count your blessings.
After the shooting, getting back to normal life obviously wasn't easy for any of us, and I feel like the only reason we kind of had to was getting back to school, which was pretty hard, but it felt normal again.
Just trying to get back into a schedule and a routine. That always helps. That's it.
I wasn't doing very well on my own, so I started going to counseling, I started playing sports, I started to hang out with my friends, and everything just started clicking back into place where it was before.
Well, I started seeing my friends, I started going to classes, I started bringing my backpack back, and I started trying to get back into some kind of routine with work.
So on the time that we had off, I spent a lot of time like going to the services, going to the funerals, going to all the memorials, just trying to grieve on my own, as well as like helping my friends grieve. I also finished Game of Thrones, so. Something that probably won't ever change is the support and the family that Douglas is. I know ever since the tragedy that had happened, the thing that happened, it brought us together.
Something I feel like will never change is just like our bond to the teachers and our bond as students, and just our capability to, no matter what happens, just to like stay strong and like be one and try our best to just like get through anything, especially something like this. It just comes to show that we can go through anything and still like move on.
So what's not going to change is, number one, our positivity and how the community's doing, because we've really come together in all of this. We've healed each other, we've gone through everything together. Even though some of us didn't know them, we've all kind of felt that pain of their absence.
Everybody's just kind of just grabbing all of their loved ones and like never letting go at this point.
I think what hasn't changed is how tight the people in the school are. Like, we've shown to the community, obviously, that like we're one big family.
It's not easy being a teen, navigating through social cliques, academics, athletics, and simply figuring out who you are. Every day on campuses across the United States, there are teens who don't seem to fit in, who haven't found their home.
It's important to be comfortable. You're spending so much time in a certain place. If you're uncomfortable, it's like torture almost. You don't want to be sitting in a classroom where you're scared or you're not comfortable with the people around you or the teachers, and it's just really important to feel like you belong.
What home is to me is this concept that nobody that comes to a school should be invisible. That everybody should have a home within a school. And that could be band, it could be football, it could be cheerleading, it could be chess club, or it could be your favorite English teacher. Just somewhere there is a place that you fit in, you're comfortable in.
At one point I felt like I didn't have a home on campus because when I went to high school, a lot of my friends from middle school, they moved on to other schools, and I felt very alone and I didn't have any friends to talk to.
For a lot of our students, coming to school is coming home. We have students who are living in a variety of different challenging situations. So when they come to school, this becomes sort of their safe haven.
I think a safe place is a place where you won't feel any judgment, any discrimination, and where you have people that you can talk to, and if something is bothering you personally or even if it's just going around you, then you're able to talk to someone and they'll understand and they will help.
If you see somebody by themselves, see how they're doing, check in on them. You know, there are clubs that schools are starting, and we're even starting one here, the No One Dines Alone, to kind of work with students who you can see at lunchtime who don't have anybody to eat lunch with, who just don't know people. Maybe they're new to the school, new to the community.
Even one little act like saying hi could greatly affect their life. It could be that they're in a dark time at that point, and by doing that, you're giving them hope that things will get better.
I think it's important to know that there's people out there who want to listen to you and who are there to listen to you, because it's important to not keep things inside and just let them open, because if you keep it inside, just over time, you're just gonna bottle up and you're just gonna feel worse over time.
I think that a kid that finds a home in a school will be successful, and they won't have this animosity that we see that's so consistent in so many negative events that happen in schools.
So where is a good place to look for a home on campus? Several schools from across the nation responded to our request for their suggestions.
In schools, you can find a home in different places like the band or clubs or different types of classrooms like yearbook or media. And here in Hawaii, we have that word for family, which is ohana. And we really try to show that in our class. And I think, you just have to find, a place like that at your school. They exist in every school, in any state across the United States.
Middle school student Shane Shibuya says he found a very accepting home in his school's television production program.
We all care about each other, and we wouldn't put down anybody or discredit anybody in our class for any reason. And I greatly consider everybody in our class to be family.
I feel at home in the Environmental Science Academy for the fact that I get to just be in a group of people that are very relaxing and chill type of people. My teacher is pretty much like a mom to me, and I always feel loved in that classroom.
You create a family with the people that you're involved with. So I'm in DEC, I'm in cheerleading, and the people in cheerleading, they're my family. So it's I can talk to them, I have someone to go to, and I feel like when you don't have that, you lose that sense of family and that sense of community.
Palm Beach Gardens high school student Alejandro Fernandez found his home in a chorus class, and when he recently found himself drowning in a rip current at the beach, it was his classmates who saved his life.
I remember just going underwater and feeling hands grab me and feeling my body being pulled out of the water. They went into wherever I was, how far away I was from shore, and they grabbed my body and they saved my life. And every one of those kids are in this class, and you never know who's going to be there to pick you up. And if you find a home in a class or other students, you know that there's somebody there who's going to pick you up if you fall.
That home could be anything and anywhere. I can't define that for you. So what you need to do is go out there and find that home. There's so many clubs, there's so many activities, there's so many sports that you can be involved in.
Once you start establishing relationships and building friendships in clubs and sports, you have a support group that you can always go to when you need to. So it's not like you just come to school, you do your homework, you do your academics, and then you get out and go home. You're also involved in multiple ways.
If you can find a home, I think you become connected, and high school becomes so much of a better place for you.
Hello Eagles, my name is Stuart Siegel. I was the senior class president of the founding class of 1992. And I just want you to know that thousands of Stoneman Douglas alumni are standing with you. I'm so proud of the way that you're handling this unspeakable tragedy.
Class of 1997, we are MSD strong. Eagle pride.
I stand with you. MSD strong.
I stand with you.
We stand with you.
Class of 2006, keep soaring Eagles.
I just want to remind you, through thick or through thin, real Eagles always fly together.
Eagle pride!
I am only who I am because of this community. And I just want all of you to know how proud I am to be part of this community. I want you to know that you're not alone in your grief. We're all grieving with you. The entire country is grieving with you.
We're MSD strong and we're from Dallas. We are Charlotte, North Carolina. We are Orlando, West Chapel, Florida. We are with you.
From beautiful on Broadway.
We are the Broadway Company of Chicago, and we are strong.
Hi Eagles, this is Kristen Annan, class of 2009, here to say that New York stands with you.
I want you to know that once an Eagle, always an Eagle. Eagles soar high.
Change has to happen, and Douglas is going to be the school that makes it happen. Eagle pride.
We want you to know to be positive, be passionate, be proud to be an Eagle.
On behalf of the entire staff of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, we want to sincerely thank you for your love and support.
The worldwide support and outpouring of love has been overwhelming and truly appreciated.
Don't ever forget to be positive,
to be passionate,
and be proud to be an Eagle.
From Coral Springs,
From Irvine, California.
Brooklyn, New York.
In East Cobb, Georgia.
From Raleigh, North Carolina.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
Boston, Massachusetts.
Houston, Texas,
Newtown, Connecticut,
Weston, Florida.
In the Bay Area of California.
Located in Orlando.
In Tampa, Florida.
Located in Guilford, England.
located in Natchitoches, Louisiana,
In Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
In Chicago, Illinois.
In North Carolina.
I live in Hawaii.
In New Hampshire.
Washington, D.C. We stand with you.
Stand with you.
And I stand with you.
I stand with you.
Stay strong, Eagles.
We're with you guys.
I promise you, I will hug each and every one of you as many times as you need. And I will hold you as long as you need me to for all 3,300 of you and your families, and we will get through this together. Our community is strong, our students are strong, we will persevere in these trying times. As you can see on the media, my staff and my students are living our motto: be positive, be passionate, and be proud to be an Eagle. We are MSD Strong. Continue to send us your thoughts and prayers, and God bless the Stoneman Douglas Eagle Nation.